Hey guys! So I am back again with another episode of Pokemon TCG, and as you can see, I do have some older packs. The way I got these older packs is going to be a video later on, but let's get into just opening up some of these packs. I'm actually doing this super early compared to what I normally do this. I'm recording this on a Sunday. Been up for about an hour. I've been exhausted all week because, ooh, that's a pretty card. It's a very pretty card. Great way to start off, great way to start the video. I forgot to pull up the snip tool before I started, but anyways, going back to I've been so exhausted this whole week. This is the first back to teaching AP, and it's a lot more of a brain drain than people would think as a teacher, because you not only have to remember the facts, you have to remember how to teach it, and snip tool is not working. Why are you not working? Come on. Technical difficulties. Hold on real quick, guys. Okay, now it pops up after I did a Control-Alt-Delete. Alright, give me a second, let me snip this. This may or may not be the thumbnail. But yeah, as I was saying, it's a lot more of a brain drain. Okay, whatever. Just because, like, you have to remember the facts, you have to remember what order things come in, you have to remember what you're teaching, how you're teaching it. As you can hear, I'm drinking coffee right now. So it is a little bit different than most other classes that I teach. Like, teaching 8th grade isn't as hard for U.S. history. Right now I'm teaching World War I, World War II, and then I also have to teach a Western Civ class, which I've never taught Western Civ, so I have no idea what I'm doing in that class. I've been looking at this and trying to make some hard to do. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. I hope I don't mess anybody up. It's something I have to do. What do I want to open next? Let's open Dragon's Exalted. And it's a different week for me because we're actually taught. So it's really weird for me to walk into class and be like, okay guys, I'm going to teach you Western Civ, but I've never taught it before, nor did I take it. I took AP Euro, so it's a totally different class. Luckily enough for me, I have some really good friends who are also teachers. Oh, I love that Houndoom. I actually have that. That's a pretty card. But at the same time, it's like, oh my god, I feel like overwhelmed. I've been stressed out all week. And it's really cool where I'm teaching, like, not complaining at all. The teacher that I'm substituting for in a way, he's actually my mentor teacher. I taught under him when I first learned how to teach. Ooh, I actually got that card when I opened the pack. You'll see that in the video, which will come out sometime soon. But like I was saying, he was my mentor teacher. He taught me how to teach. So I owe him a lot. I really owe him a lot. I can't say anything bad about this man. This man taught my brother. He taught me how to teach. He's given me every opportunity in the world. And it really means a lot. It means a lot that he trusts me so much. So, I think he's an absolutely amazing teacher. He's one of the teachers who left me with such a great impression. Now, my teacher, she actually still teaches there. Her name is Christy Butchkiss. And she taught me AP Euro, which is one of the hardest classes. And we were talking the other day, and she said, do you remember when you started to write the DBQs and you really couldn't get it? You didn't understand how it worked, and you used to get so frustrated. And I used to sit with you, and I used to drill it into you, and I used to explain to you how to do it. And when it finally clicked, you got so excited. I said, yeah, Because that's what you look for in students, don't you? I said, yeah, I want that excitement. I want that thrill, that drive. And time because I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia until the 5th grade, and that's much later on than you'd really expect. And the only reason why I was diagnosed was because my 5th grade teacher noticed I was verbally gifted, but if you put me on paper, I really wasn't. And because of that, my self-confidence tanked in middle school. Like, I had no self-confidence. It didn't happen for me to have self-confidence until I ended up starting to do something called history fair, where I would compete in the national. I did so good at that and other kids didn't. I felt confident in what I was doing. So that's like the first time I really have that self-confidence boost. Students, because I may have one style of learning, you may have a different style, and I may be able to guide you. Now, another thing to keep in mind for people who are students, in high school at least, and middle school, you may not click with all your teachers, but there's always going to be a way for you to study, whether it be online videos, you can find something like Crash Course, where you can use that, or you can go to another teacher and say, hey, look, I'm having issues in this subject. I don't think I click with the teacher. Can you give me doesn't read your minds. As much as you guys think we can read your minds, we really can't. So I'm afraid to open evolutions, but I'm gonna open evolutions because I'm probably gonna get a bird. But asking us shows a better grade. And the moment in time you start asking teachers for help is the moment in time we really will start to help you. And I really do feel like no matter what we do, it was Venusaur. Very nice. What we end up doing is, once we end up helping you guys, you guys start to see that, no, we don't think you're a horrible student. We know you're good. We just know you need that guidance. And everybody needs the guidance. It took me a very long time to accept that fact about myself. No, I don't know how to. Me, God, like 5 or 6 years to figure out my way of studying was not an appropriate way of studying. Now, how I study today is I tend to rewrite everything, I'll have everything written out, and then I will start rewriting everything out again just to make sure I understand it. And if I can explain it to somebody else, that's even better, because it means I really do understand the problem. Ooh. Like 6 of these. Yeah, I'm actually going to snip this one too, and then I'm going to debate on which one I want to use. Save thumbnail 2. Let's see. Better question, which one will I use? So glad I haven't pulled a bird yet. But going back to what I'm talking about with education and teaching and stuff like that, I'm going to save the rest of those packs for later. Let's open up some Sun and Moon stuff. No matter what you do in education, no matter what you think, say you're giving yourself a self-fulfilling, that probably means you are to fail. You can't ever think that way. You have to think positive. You have to think good. Like, I had a student, excuse me, last year when I was teaching, I had a student who said to me, point blank, I cannot learn history. I've never been good at fact recall. I've never been good at memory. And I said, well, there's different ways of doing it. And she said, no, I'm just not good. She's in 8th grade. Later that year, I did the after school program. I helped out there to make sure all the kids were where they're supposed to be and to help take off pressure from some of the people who did the after school. Well, later on, I see her talking to one of her friends who's in 9th grade. And the 9th grader starts to quote the First Amendment. And he says something about separation of church and state. And without this child who says, I can't remember, ooh, that's pretty. Nope, I found my thumbnail. That actually came out of my first booster box too. Sorry, got distracted. The child who says, I cannot learn history, I can't remember facts, she comes out and says, when he says separation of church and state, she's like, no, that's not in there. And she quotes the First Amendment at him, and I'm standing right next to them. And I look at her and I said, you do realize you quoted the First Amendment correctly? And she got so excited. She's like, I've never been able to remember facts. I've never been able to do that before. I can't believe I just did that. And she went running up to her mom, and she's like, Mom, I remember what the First Amendment is. I remember the Bill of Rights. And she's quoting all of them at her. And her mom is like, this is incredible. She's never been able to do this. Well, she also in math. So one day, I'm grading, and I noticed something wrong with her numbering. She's writing her numbers backwards. Keep in mind, which means you write numbers backwards. I pointed that out to her mom, and her mom said, well, four, and they just kept telling me, oh, it's just the way she writes, the teenager thing to do. And I said, no, she has dyscalculia. I said, if you go and get her tested, she's going to test positive. So her mom took her out of school for 3 days, because that's how long it takes the testing. Got her tested. She was tested with dyscalculia, which meant we had to very quickly get her on a 504 before she had to take the math portion of the FSA, which is the Florida State Standard Testing. And because she actually had issues with math, this would allow her to still graduate even if she did not pass that, because, well, it's not her fault. So her mom was very, very thankful, because nobody had ever taken the there's something wrong here. It's not just a way a student writes. This is actually looks like it could be a learning disability. So because of that, she ended up passing. She's now in high school. I've seen her around town. She's like the sweetest, happiest child ever. So it's been a really cool trip for me. I really enjoy teaching. I really love teaching. Everything about it is absolutely amazing to me. And I can't even describe the feeling I get when a student understands something. Like the excitement I see in their eyes when they have that happy moment of, oh my god, I understand what you're talking about. I get it. I feel like I've learned something. It's not just this foreign concept to me. That's what makes me really happy as a teacher. And, oh come on, don't do the not responding, okay. And it's something I really do look for. Yes. It's something I really do look for as a teacher, just because, well, it's not something normal. I mean, a lot of kids feel like history is this boring abstract subject, and it's not. It's something that teaches us the mistakes of our past so we don't them. And like I said before, ooh, I got two leaks and one way. Like I said before, keep going until you know where. So for well, let's throw that in there. You don't know the mistakes that you need to avoid, and because of that, you're gonna have a lot of people who make the same mistakes. Like Adolf Hitler, for example. Since I'm teaching World War II right now in one of the classes, he steams into Russia during the winter, which is the same mistake Napoleon made. And when Napoleon made that mistake, he ended up losing the Napoleonic Wars. So Hitler makes the same exact mistake, and because of this, he steams into Russia again, going to lose. He kind of steams into Russia. I mean, anything. So, come on. Something totally catastrophic. Yes, Stalingrad is a catastrophic battle for the Nazis. Will lose so spectacularly. It's not something that it's not something that would have happened if he didn't invade Russia during the winter. And it would have been something that would have happened if he did several things differently. Now, am I saying Hitler should have won World War II? Not at all. I'm just pointing out the fact that he didn't study history very well. And I do like teaching history because there's a lot of like really random facts that you learn about in history that normally we don't talk about. One of them being, well, when you're dealing with history itself, like America, if you look at American history, oh, he surrendered pretty quickly. Alright, I'm gonna do one more battle. Legal. Like, they did a crime, they criminalize it. And because of that, a lot of people don't realize that. So a lot of people are like, oh, America does all these horrible things, but we don't realize that in our history, we're the first country to make marital rape illegal, and we're also the first country to kind of question national religions. Like, this is why America doesn't have a national religion. That's why we're not declared Protestant or Roman Catholic or Jewish or Islamic. It's because each person has the right to practice their own religion. Like, our founding fathers, they practice something known as deism, and deism pretty much is there's a God to the world and then step back and let the world do as it please, because he did not want to take responsibility for the world, and humans were allowed to make their own mistakes. Well, in his hand, so you know Pokemon. And with deism, you have a lot of people confuse it with what is it called? Deism. Agnostics, where they believe God exists, but he doesn't do anything in the world. Two totally different concepts. Similar in a way, but not exactly the same. Which, yes, I would like to draw a card for each one. Yes. What did I get? Ooh, I could put another Trevenant on the bench. Full of Trevenants. So, it is a pretty interesting concept to me. I love how the concept of history works because there's so many interesting things you can explore and different things you can do. As soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to actually go back and work on American history because my internet went out because today, other than sit here and twiddle my thumbs, because I actually have to look at the standard and then what they have to learn in the standard and what they have to learn. So that's why I'm recording all of this today. I should have recorded it yesterday, except for this I could not actually record because, well, I had no internet. So how am I going to go do PCTG? Oh, when there's no internet at all. So, I know that was a very long conversational piece of me just like talking about like freaking everything in the world. Yeah, I want Gardevoir, but which one do I want? I want you. Oh, I'm so excited about the new set. I really am super excited about the new set of Sun and Moon base. Just because, well, I'm so excited to get, like, I opened the holo. That's gonna go too, if you guys don't know. I opened the holo set, which was really, really cool. I ended up pulling, as much as I hate recording a video, I did pull one of the GX that I really, really wanted, which was the Grandpa GX. So I'm super happy I pulled that. And I really am excited for that set itself. How many energies do you need? Okay, you know what? We're just gonna do this. We're just going to end the turn that way, because then if it kills, I don't really care that I'm not attacking, because if he wants to have a mega, I have a mega. Mega for a mega. But I'm really excited about the new set. I did actually order a Japanese booster box for that. And yeah, I like really enjoy what I do. I've had so much fun doing this, even though I don't always correctly pronounce the names, and people pointed that out to me before. Even though I've had problems with certain names and other aspects of it, I still love like opening packs. I love even a mess sometimes, and it takes forever to put cards away. I love what I do. I really do. And I can't complain at all. I'm very thankful for the support. I know right now I'm sitting at 361 subscribers, and I have to say you guys are the best. You guys really are the best, because I don't know how many of you know this, but originally I started my channel because I had depression, or I have depression. I suffer from it. Not a fun subject to talk about at all. Mostly stems back from my past. When I was in high school, I was dating somebody who really didn't treat me well. And at first he did. And then towards the end of our relationship, I was engaged to him, and he really treated me like garbage. And I really lost a lot of myself to that. So it was really hard for me to deal with. And then I had the death of both of my grandparents around the same time period, and it just in a way killed me. It really did. So I had a lot of very big issues in my life after the death of my grandparents, and after everything that had happened to me. So I really didn't deal with it well. And very healthy at all for me. So I always talk about, if you're in a relationship and you feel like somebody doesn't love you or they don't treat you the way you want to be treated, just run. And I really do mean that, because, well, I was in a situation where he didn't treat me well at all, and he ended up raping me in the end, and that's what made me leave. And for years I was terrified of talking about it. I was so embarrassed. I didn't ever want to admit it. So finally last year I admitted it to my parents, and we talked about it, because I was honestly terrified because of it. And as stupid as this sounds, I never wanted to admit it, because that meant I had to admit that I was too weak to defend myself. And it's hard. I mean, it really is hard, because I was always afraid of making myself seem like this weak person who needs somebody to defend them. And that was never it. So sorry, this is just a hard subject for me to talk about sometimes. I really didn't ever want to feel that way. I never wanted to feel so helpless that I couldn't save myself. And because of that, I always felt like secure 50. I wish like I had a Pokemon Center lady so I could at least hit it. I don't know if I'm gonna win this match. I really don't care, but I won one. So yeah, it took me a very long time to admit it, and it took me a very long time to come to the conclusion that wasn't healthy of me to hide it, wasn't healthy of me to do any of that. And now I talk about it, but I flippin' hate Venusaur EX. I was hoping to like knock it out before it reset up. Flip. Perfect. Does 50. So that'd be. Let's do that. Hopefully, like, something happens some way. I'm gonna be able to defeat this thing. Maybe I should have done the GX move. My bad. Jesus Christ, you're gonna deck yourself out. Maybe I will, I don't know. Like, look at that hand. But, yeah, it's a really hard subject to talk about sometimes because you really don't want to admit it, but at the same time you have to. You have to, like, be honest with yourself. Whew, thank you for doing that. What's your retreat cost? What's your retreat cost? Yeah, I'm just going to... Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm conceding. So, guys, I'm going to end off with a loss like I normally do, but hey, I had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I kind of ended on a heavier subject, but at the same time, I feel like I need to be honest with you guys and tell you guys the whole truth. Hope you guys join me for next week's episode.